A major green card change could be coming for those who are applying for a green card in the US. On November 19th, 2025, a new rule was proposed where essentially it could make it easier for USCIS officers to deny somebody a green card if they believe that the person will become a public charge. If somebody is considered a public charge, what that means is that the person will likely end up relying on government benefits. Essentially, this new rule will give officers a lot broader of discretion to deny somebody a green card if they think that they will be dependent on public benefits. So the current rule is that if a USCIS officer determines that a person will primarily be dependent on public benefits, then they could be denied based on becoming a public charge. But now with this new rule, it basically broadens the ability for the officer to deny a case if they think that the person could just become dependent and not necessarily primarily dependent. Under the current rule, only certain types of public benefits can be used as consideration as to whether or not they think that a person will become a public charge. But under this new proposal, they could consider any public benefit as a negative factor in determining the public charge issue. Another change that could happen is that right now, USCIS officers can only look at whether or not the applicant of the green card application has received public benefits. But this new rule could make it so that they also look at the applicant's dependents and whether or not they have received public benefits. Also, under this potential new rule, if an applicant even applies for a public benefit, or if they apply for it, they're approved, but they never use the benefit, that will also be looked at as a negative factor. The tough part about public charge findings, so that means if the officer determines that the person is going to be a public charge and they deny the green card, there's no waiver for public charge determination. You can't just say, well, fine, you said that I'm a public charge, but I'm going to apply for a waiver. That's not going to be possible. In order to overcome the public charge determination, you actually have to prove that you're not going to be a public charge. This rule could potentially take effect sometime next year. My advice right now is that if you are a candidate to apply for a green card, make sure you talk to an immigration attorney to make sure you're eligible. And if you are, then I would highly suggest that you file sooner rather than later. If you'd like to talk to me about your immigration situation, you can schedule a consultation through the link in my bio or by calling my office, and that information is also in my bio.